Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation, and this is February's what I wore this month. It started 2 days late on the 21st of February, which was a Friday. I went to Tuesday the 25th of February 2020. I wore some pre-cycle, like as in from usually the day before my period is due. I start wearing moderates just in case it turns up. So I ended up wearing, and because it was due on the 18th, on the 17th I wore this 9-inch Maleficent by Bella Luna Inspirations. It is athletic weaving jersey on top, bamboo core and fleece on the back. On the 18th I wore this 9-inch Totoro by Daisy and Bird. This is woven cotton topped, bamboo fleece and cotton core, and WinPro on the back. On the 20th, so by this time I am late, I wore this 9-inch My Little Pony by Handmade by Hetty. It is cotton topped, zorb and flannel core and fleece on the back. And then here, I think I wore this overnight possibly. This is the 10-inch X-Files by A Splendid Story. It is cotton lycra topped, super heavy organic bamboo fleece core and soft shell fleece on the back. On Friday, 21st of February, I woke up with it, so I must have been wearing that overnight. So what I wore on the Friday, because I had to go to work, was this Fun Cup. This is the size B. It hasn't actually been washed properly yet. There's a little blood on the inside, but it was like rinsed out when I obviously took it out. I just have to re-sterilize it. And so that is the bag. This is part of an ongoing review, so that is, I've still got, the review is ongoing for the Fun Cup, so don't worry about that, it is upcoming. And as backup, I had this 9-inch Beetlejuice by Go With Your Flow. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo fleece, cotton flannel and PUL core, and of course my favourite corduroy on the back. Then 10-inch Geisha by Handmade by Hetty, cotton topped, zorb and flannel core and fleece backed. This is a 9-inch Disney posters in the style of Tim Burton. This is by A Splendid Story. It is cotton lycra topped, super heavy organic bamboo fleece core and grid soft shell fleece on the back. This is a 14.5 puppet, and it is by Sunshine Bums. It is organic cotton ultra sherpa topped. It is organic cotton flannel and terry toweling core, and it is PUL bonded sherpa on the back. Okay, this one here is a 12-inch Crowley by A Splendid Story. It is cotton lycra topped, super heavy organic bamboo fleece core and grid soft shell fleece on the back. This is one that I put on at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I went from this to this because, as you all know, these are as usual in the order that I wore them. So I don't do a random order what I wore this month. These are all in order of how I wore them. So I got up, I think I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom. So I just, if you've watched my vlogs on my period, I usually just have on the top of my tower of boxes for pads, I just pull out 5 or 6 and just have them sitting on top for the day, so I can just grab one off and change. So I just, at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I was going to the bathroom anyway, grabbed a pad to change at the same time. So this is one that I put on at like 3 o'clock in the morning from the pile on top of my boxes. Most of the time these are all in specific, most of the stuff in my room is in a specific place and doesn't move, so I know where all this stuff is, so I'll grab it. And I usually set up this from heaviest to lightest, like my stack on top of my boxes, so I knew where to grab the biggest pad from. So the next morning is this 10-inch Silver Cat by Venus pads. It is crushed velvet top, flannel core and fleece on the back. This one here is a 10-inch by A Splendid Story. It's cotton lycra topped, super heavy organic bamboo fleece core and soft shell fleece on the back. This is the Angry 10-inch Angry Beavers. It is by Keller Bear Creates. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo French terry, cotton flannel and PUL core and micro fleece on the back. This is a 12-inch Booby Bear by Venus pads. It is crushed velvet top, flannel core and fleece on the back. This is an 11-inch Lilo and Stitch by Handmade by Hetty. This one is cotton topped, zorb and flannel core and fleece on the back. This is a 10-inch Witches by Misandry Made. It is cotton topped, flannel core and poly fleece on the back. This is a 12-inch Unicorn by Keller Bear Creates. It is cotton topped, bamboo French terry, cotton flannel and PUL core and micro fleece on the back. This one here is a Winnie the Pooh. I got it because Eeyore is my favourite, and I haven't found another Eeyore pad since. There's a lot of fluff on these pads for some reason. They are washed and dried and cleaned, but hey. So this is an 11-inch and it's by Erin Sweet. So it is cotton topped, organic bamboo fleece, cotton flannel fleece and PUL cord, and of course my favourite corduroy backer. This one here is a 10-inch Stars and Moon by Kitty Cat Cloth. It is organic bamboo velour topped. It is flannel and fleece core and grid WinPro on the back. This one here is a 10-inch Rainbow Bear by Venus pads. It is crushed velvet top, flannel core and fleece backed. I have done reviews of all of these makers, so you can go check them out in the review playlist if you would like. This one here is a 13-inch Disney print by Go With Your Flow. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo fleece and cotton flannel core and anti-pill fleece on the back. This is a 9-inch Poseidon by Venus pads. It is crushed velvet topped, flannel core and fleece backed. This one here is a 10-inch Pigs by the Purple Panda. It is cotton lycra knit, super heavy bamboo fleece core, flannelette and PUL core with woven cotton on the back. And then we get to the last day, which was this 10-inch Ravenclaw by Handmade by Hetty. It is cotton topped, zorb and flannel core and fleece backed. And then also we've got this 10-inch Little Mermaid by Venus pads. It is cotton knit topped, flannel core and of course fleece on the back. I used Love Luna underwear throughout my period because I did washing over the weekend. I have 6 pairs of Love Luna underwear, which means that's 3 days and 3 nights, but obviously my cycle goes for 5 days generally. Usually day 1 is kind of okay, day 2 is ultra heavy, day 3 is like medium, day 4 is exceptionally light, and then day 5 kind of does a little bit of a disco move back. So it's kind of like this cycle I practically stopped bleeding completely on day 4, and so I could have worn a pair of underwear the entire day and it wouldn't have mattered because it basically stopped. And then day 5 it was all like yay and partied on for like half the day. So it was just what happens sometimes. But because I had obviously a weekend in the middle where I wasn't working, and I usually do a load of washing on the weekend that I'm not working, I ended up washing some of these halfway through, and so I could use them, and then I ended up using them the entire time. So that was both morning and day. Some afternoons when I'd come home from work, particularly on the Monday and the Tuesday, I just took off my pad and just wore the Love Luna underwear around until I had my shower that night before I went to bed. So they did, actually on the Friday, which was day one, which is kind of a light moderate flow, because I woke up with it, so it usually kind of starts to kick off later that night and kind of ramp up for the next day. I wore the Love Luna for 2 or 3 hours between getting home from work, probably 3.5 hours, and then having a shower, and they held up perfectly fine as just being worn by themselves. I probably wouldn't wear them by themselves with a heavy flow, or for an extended period of time for me personally, but that's just how, when you get to know your flow, you know what you can and cannot do. So yeah, probably day 4 and day 5, I could have just worn these and it would have had zero issue. And I didn't have any issue with them anyway when I was bleeding pretty much, well, light moderately, for 3 or 4 hours on them, and then I just rinsed them out when I took them off and had my shower. That was in total 6 Love Luna underwear, obviously Love Luna underwear that I used, but obviously washed them mid-cycle and wore some of them twice. I do actually have an unboxing video and a review of the Love Luna up in the reviews and unboxing playlist, so you can go and check them out if you wish. And the next cycle, I have a Kalia underwear to test out, so that could be exciting because they have different styles and shapes, and I've got one of each shape to test out for you. So that just came as that literally came the day my period was ending, so I wasn't going to be able to use them in this cycle, but they will be in use next cycle, and the cycle after, for better reviews for you, because you know I like to use stuff for 3 cycles before I review them. And I used a total of 4 pre-pads, so before I started bleeding, and then I used 20 cloth pads and 1 menstrual cup while actually bleeding. So that is what happened. If you watched my prep pack, you would have seen that I had a prep pack at work and some of my pad wrappers. Sorry, it's a very weird time. Anyway, so I actually love those pad wrappers. They're really, really good, and they're cotton and PU lined with a clear, hold on, I think I just have them here, so I'll show you what I mean. So I used these. These are my favourite style of pad wrapper because they have this clip and they can fit in bigger styles. I find the ones that are just kind of folded around aren't really that useful to use because they tend to be probably about this big. So they tend to be smaller than these, and they tend to, because you have to fold them out, there's not a lot of, like from the top, there's not a lot of maneuverability within them, whereas these have quite a big maneuverability and they fit even pads of this size within them. So for me, who prefers shape pads and 10-inch pads, this is sometimes those smaller pad wrappers without the cam snap in the middle, or that kind of this big, aren't going to fit these types of pads in them. So these are cotton outer and PU lined, and they come from Gypsy Heart store. Also, I probably would have done this video earlier and posted it earlier, but it has been raining all week. Like, there's been thunderstorms every day, and we broke the record this week for the most amount of lightning and thunder in a row. So yeah, it wasn't too bad in general, but it just meant I couldn't wash and dry my pads or my clothes because obviously there were storms and winds and rains and lightning. So that's why it's taken me obviously now to film this and post this, but that's okay. That's sometimes what happens. They ended up soaking for 3 days. Of course, I change the water every 12 hours every 12 hours. So basically in the morning before I went to work and in the night when I got home, I just basically changed that water, so they all got an extra long soak, but that's okay. It's just what happens. There's no what I wore this month of vlog this time because I am working at the moment and I cannot film either at work or where I work, or any of the things I do during the day. So you'd basically only get a morning vlog and a night vlog. That may keep the vlog time down though, so it depends. Thanks for watching. Up on screen will be the What I Wore This Month playlist and the subscribe button and the prep pack playlist, so you can go check them all out. Enjoy your morning, afternoon or evening as always, and depending on where you are in the day, and I of course will see you all in the next video. Bye.